Hello everybody, Ed0626 bringing you some more World of Tanks gameplay here on the PS4. As I always like to say, if you do have this game on PS4 and you want to play with me, by all means send me your PSNs down below. I can always use people to play with. At this point in time, I'm currently on the grind to tier 6 on some of my tanks, and some of my tanks are tier 4, so... Right now I'm using the tier 3 Panzer IIIA, which is, I think, the tank before you get the DW2, which is the tank I'm currently on now for the Germans. This gameplay is a little bit slow. It takes me about halfway to actually, do anything. But hopefully you stay around to, I have a couple things I want to talk about. Basically, what I want to talk about is my biggest problem with World of Tanks at this point in time. Now, don't get me wrong, World of Tanks has a lot of good to it. Oh, by the way, this is how you help a teammate out. Right there. The guy even thanks me for it, I think. I don't know, I think the guy thanked me for that, I'm not sure, but I definitely helped that guy out. But, because he fell over and shit, so I did him a favor. So, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, my biggest problem with World of Tanks. So basically, since I've been getting up in tiers, my biggest problem has been the lack of penetrations and the lack of damage I've been getting on tanks. What I've recently found out, and I'm not happy about it, is, and I didn't really know this prior to me getting the game, is when I go up in tiers, like if I'm a tier 4, I go up against tanks probably as high as tier 6. And tier 6 tanks are fucking unstoppable against the tier 4. You'll do some damage, but it'll take you a while. I've had a lot of games where I've just been murdered instantly by tanks, whether that were the same tier as me or a different class or something. But I feel like a lot of the times I get the shit end of the stick. Now, granted, my approach to some of the battles are not always great. A lot of the times I go balls to the wall, and I know that's not how you're supposed to play in certain games like this. But I don't know, man. I feel like when I hit people in certain areas, like if I hit people behind on a tank, which is what you should always get damage on. I don't care what anybody says. I've hit people in the fucking... I've hit people in the tracks. Nothing. And sometimes I'm using standard shot. Sometimes I'm using the shot on the far... I think it's like the heat shot or something. I don't know. It doesn't have a great penetration, but the splash damage is pretty decent. So basically, what I'm trying to say is my biggest problem with tanks, especially in tier 4 and tier 5, is me playing against a lot higher tiers with a lot better armor and odds are a lot better skill. I saw a Tiger. I was recently playing a game and I saw a Tiger tank. A Tiger is like a tier 7 or 8. I shouldn't be playing against tier 7s and 8s if I'm a tier 4 or 5, That's insane, So that's basically been my biggest problem, and I don't really have anybody to play with. I don't have many people to play with either. So it's not like I can tell them, shit, like, we should probably leave this or whatever, that type of stuff. It's just a pain. So that's basically been my biggest problem. As well as the penetration issues. I feel like when I hit somebody and I hit them a pretty decent spot, I don't care what tier they are, I feel like they should take some damage. Even if it's a tiny sliver of damage, I still want something, because in the end, it's also going to help me out. And for whatever reason, the Panzer III, I'm just working on this one guy, laying shots into him. He's losing a good portion of his health. And I'm going to come around here on this cliff. By the way, it's the name of the map. I'm to come here up this cliff, and I'm going to, finish him off, basically. I'm going to take out his buddy a little higher up. But, yeah, so let me ask, if you guys have played this game, is that one of your biggest pet peeves about it? The fact that you lay damage into guys, but you don't get the hits, and you don't get the points for it, and of course you don't get the XP, and you don't get the silver, which is what you really need, because this game is truly a grind, that type of stuff. Or is it the fact that, you're just playing higher tiers that are obviously going to be more superior to you, so you're just going to get wasted either way? Tanks like the, this one Russian tank, I forgot the name of it, I don't know, it's called the A-20 or something. It's a Russian tank that you get before you get the T-34. and which is what I've really been trying to get. And the tank is just weak as hell. You know, I had better games playing with the BT7, which is the tank before that. You know, so I'm sitting here like, you know, I lay shots into people, but nothing is happening. And then I get wasted really easy. But then again, that the tank before the T-34 is considered a light tanks, and those don't have much. Light tanks don't have great armor to begin with. I think what I'm using is a light tank actually. Before I moved on to the, or it's a medium, I don't know, one of those. It was the tank before I moved on to the DW2, which is a heavy. But like I said, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Those have been my two biggest problems over the last month or so playing World of Tanks. And you know, when I run into stuff like that, I have a lot of trouble, you know, having fun in the game because, you know, I want to get my silver and I want to get my my tanks, and that means something to me. So with that being said, I'm Edjo626. Hope you guys have enjoyed this victory, and I'll catch you guys on the next battlefield for the tanks. See you guys later.